Good evening. You're watching Sunday Edition. I am Yvonne Mukondani. Piso Ijomunyika gives us the bulletin in sign language.
And I'm Joyce Mabika. Later on, we'll be joined by Arthur Evans from our Montrose studios in Bulawayo. Our leading stories tonight.
Zimbabwe's economy projected to remain on a positive trajectory driven by continued reforms and stable policies.
19-year-old man from Masvingo takes a proactive role in modernizing mining industry. We explored this invention in our science and technology feature.
And in business, stakeholders in the construction sector challenged to take advantage of government's political will and new investments.
In our sports bars, Knowledge Musona and Timon Machoke ruled out of the upcoming Warriors match due to injuries.
Those are our leading stories. Again, thank you for joining us. In our top story, President Emmerson Mnangagwa says employment creation remains at the heart of the Second Republic, with ongoing infrastructure projects employing thousands of locals, contributing to the improvement of livelihoods.
He was speaking at the just ended Second World Summit for Social Development in Doha, Qatar.
Improving livelihoods of the people entails different aspects, which include job creation. At the just ended Second World Summit for Social Development, there was consensus that poverty eradication must be tackled head-on. For Zimbabwe, several projects are being implemented which have propelled job creation, and President Mnangagwa reaffirmed the country's commitment to employment creation.
Employment creation and decent work are central to Zimbabwe's development strategy. The National Employment Policy Framework and Decent Work Country Program promote enterprise development, skills training, and infrastructure investment.
Among the flagship projects being carried out by government is construction of the Gwai-Shangani Dam in Matabeleland North Province, which currently employs 500 workers. Other water bodies currently under construction include Semwa Dam in Mashonaland Central, as well as Tuli Manyange Dam in Matabeleland South. Construction of the Beit Bridge Chirundu Highway has also seen a substantive number of locals being employed. As the world leaders went their separate ways, President Mnangagwa's plea was for women and youths to be empowered to drive inclusive growth.
Let me reiterate that family remains the cornerstone of social cohesion and shared values. We must empower women, the youth, and families to drive inclusive growth and intergenerational solidarity. Let the Doha Declaration reignite hope for the many peoples of the world still waiting for justice and dignity. Let it affirm that development is not a privilege, but a universal right. Zimbabwe is a friend to all and an enemy to none. We stand ready to work with all nations to build peaceful, just, fair, more inclusive and a sustainable world where no one and no place is left behind.
The underlying agreement is that the globe can do more to ensure social development. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News.
Churches across the nation have been called upon to uphold moral and spiritual values to help curb social ills such as drug abuse, moral decay, and loss of community values among the youth. This message resonated throughout the Mass held by the Roman Catholic Redemptorists at St. Augustine's Parish in Heathcliff.
The critical role of the Church in shaping moral behavior and uplifting the spiritual well-being of citizens was emphasized during a Mass held at St. Augustine Parish in Heathcliff, Harare. The service was attended by Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga and his wife, Keneo Miniotawo Chiwenga, who joined the congregates in celebrating 6 new members committing themselves to lifelong service as brothers of the Redemptorist congregation.
Kutora kwatoita mhiko idzi as a Redemptorist chinhanho chikuru mukati morupenyu rwedu, mukati merupenyu rwangu inini somupikiri, nemhaka yekuti zvinoreva kuti ndasarudza kuzvipira zvizere kuchita ichochi uye kubasa irori randakasarudza kuti ndinoda kuita.
Zvazvinoreva kuva muredemptorist zvinongoreva izvo kuti ndazvipira kuva muchita chomunonori mutsvene-tsvene icho chine donzvo rokuparidzira dama rakanaka.
Tine organization inonzi Mavambo Organization, Mavambo Orphan Care, and then inonzi Redemptorist Development Organization. Ese maorganization aya aripo pakubatsira vanotambudzika.
Speaking during this ceremony, the vicar of the Redemptorist region of Zimbabwe, Father Francis Kunaka, encouraged Christians across denominations to unite in nurturing moral and spiritual strength, particularly among the youths who face increasing exposure to drug and substance abuse, while commending the newly professed brothers for their courage and dedication in choosing a life of commitment to the gospel.
Kwete is vanhu 6 zvamakaita muzuva ranhasi makadaidzwa rumwe nerumwe kuti muite basa raMwari ramakapiwa pamakadaidzwa naMwari, ramakapiwa muchiri munhumbu dzaamai mveyo.
The commitment of the 6 newly professed brothers strengthens not only the Catholic mission, but also the wider Christian call to promote faith, moral renewal, and social responsibility across the nation. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The government's commitment to providing decent and affordable housing for all Zimbabweans continues to gain momentum, with the meeting at Umguza Rural District Council marking the launch of the presidential housing scheme in Matabeleland North Province.
Residents of Hawkflight, Mtunzeni and Bulawayo have started benefiting from the presidential housing scheme. One of the beneficiaries, Mr. Obokeng Ndlovu, expressed his gratitude at finally owning a house.
Through Ubabus Fund, I approached the President, His Excellency, wase khuluma la ukuthi kulama civil servants afuna izindlu. President wathi, that's a good thing. I want to build izindlu for ama civil servants.
Officials from the Ministry of National Housing and Social Amenities emphasized that the scheme is part of a broader government effort to promote inclusive development across all provinces.
I think we are on the right track because we have met the set target, which were given about 220 houses to deliver. We delivered that and we surpassed the target.
We believe that this project speaks into the vision of the President for providing housing for civil servants, affordable housing for civil servants. And our role as a local government and a local authority is to make sure that there's compliance, there's dignity, there's proper infrastructure for the beneficiaries of this presidential housing scheme.
The presidential housing scheme meeting held this Saturday at Mtunzeni brought together government officials, local authorities, and community members to advance an initiative that began in 2022 aimed at fulfilling the national vision of leaving no one and no place behind by 2030.
The government will next week begin gazetting a series of legal instruments to implement new measures aimed at reducing the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe. The rollout will be gradual across some ministries, with statutory instruments formalizing the fees and procedures announced earlier by Treasury.
The legislative backing for these reforms, covering sectors such as agriculture, retail, transport and tourism, is set to begin next week through a series of statutory instruments, with some measures also expected to be reflected in the upcoming Finance Act proposals. Speaking on the sidelines of the just-ended pre-budget discussions in Bulawayo, Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube confirmed the government's swift action, emphasizing the administration's determination to walk the talk on these reforms.
These will start trickling down as from next week. So you'll see individual ministries begin to announce through specific statutory instruments the new fees and procedures as announced. You also see some of those included in the Finance Act proposals in the budget in November. And some of those will be announced after the budget. So you see them being announced at different times as we go along. You'll agree with me that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of rules, a lot of fees. So it cannot be done in one go. So this is following, and government will walk the talk and make sure that these fees support business to grow. Because without growth, we can't support everybody and leave no one behind. So next week we hope to delve into the energy sector. We will again watch the space and see what we've pronounced there. So far we've done a few sectors, as you know. We've done part of agriculture, we've done retail, wholesale, and transport, tourism, and now energy. We look at crops, and then the manufacturing sector, then the mining sector, until we cover everything that's important, including services.
Treasury maintains that the combination of prudent fiscal management and sound monetary policy has already laid the foundation for these business-friendly reforms.
We've hit the right chord in terms of the success of our economic reforms, in terms of our quest for macroeconomic stability. We've really hit the right chord here. You can see institutions such as the IMF commending us for the hard work we've done, and it's showing in the rates of growth in terms of recovery. A 6.6% rate of growth this year in 2025, and then 5% next year. This is very strong growth in an environment of tepid growth around Africa, around the world, where growth has been slow, or in fact low. And here in Zimbabwe growing at 6.6%, for one of the fastest growing economies in our region, and 5% next year. And these reforms obviously have to do with prudent fiscal management, prudent monetary policy, which is then helping support our currency. It's lowering prices, creating that necessary stability in terms of the buying power.
Zimbabwe's economy is projected to remain on a positive trajectory, driven by continued reforms, stable policies, and strategic investment in key sectors including mining, energy, agriculture, and manufacturing. Hiland Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Makoni West constituency is experiencing accelerated development under the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, with local communities endorsing ZANU-PF Resolution number 1 calling for the extension of the President's term of office to ensure the full realization of Vision 2030.
The joint efforts to promote local development between councillors and local legislator Honorable Jennifer Mswere, led by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, are yielding positive results in Makoni West constituency. During victory celebrations for Councillor Mind Nyamande of Ward 13 and Councillor Charles Machemedzo of Ward 15, who won resoundingly in the 2023 harmonized elections, villagers expressed appreciation of the ongoing development projects and called for continuity under President Mnangagwa's leadership.
Tiri kutenda kansela wedu, MP wedu, Wamswere, Councillor Mind, budiriro yavari kutipa muwadi 13.
VTC yakaunza budiriro huru mumusha uno Makoni nekuti mukatarisa nguva ino vechidiki vazhinji vari kupinda nezvemadrugs nenhau yekushaya zvokuita, asi nekuda kweVTC tinotarisira kuti ichabatsira vechidiki.
Kudistrict kwedu malebhu ako kuprimary nekusekondari, zvibhorani zvepresidential zvako, marodhi ari kugadzirwa.
Councillors Nyamande and Machemedze thanked residents for their support, pledging continued service delivery and commitment to development under the guidance of Dr. Mswere and President Mnangagwa.
Vanhu kuno 13 munodadisa. Ndimika makati votera nai kuti tiite basa. Chakanyanya kunzwisisa ndechekuti kana tavoterwa takavhotwa tiite development handiti? Mukana nenguva. Asi kwatisati tasvika tinoita sei?
Saka tiri kutenda vanhu vari muward 15 nekundisarudza ngekuti ward 15 yanga yane 15 years iri co-opposition.
ZANU-PF Women's League provincial member Comrade Eunice Muhiwa urged the residents to remain united and continue supporting their local leadership.
Ndinokutendai vanhu veMakoni West, rambai makabatana muine rudo nekusapota Wamswere nekusapota president wedu.
The local legislator Dr. Jennifer Mswere reaffirmed his commitment to fostering an empowered and development-oriented community under President Mnangagwa's leadership.
Tiri kupedza zvakare madhasiyauta kudohwa
tiri kuvandudza zvakare padedzo hospital. Tabva ipapo tiri kuvaka imba yadhokta zvakare kuSt Teresa. Takapedza mamwe mabhloko atanga tiri kuvaka kuSt Teresa school, tikavandudza zvakare paChiunya pachikoro. Zvikoro zvese zviri muno munzvimbo zviri computerized. Politics dziya dzekuti tinorova maslogani, tabva ipapo totengerana doro, hadziendese nyika kumberi.
A major highlight of the celebrations was the community's endorsement of the ZANU-PF's resolution number 1, which recommends the extension of President Mnangagwa's term to 2030 to ensure the completion of Vision 2030 development goals.
Vanhu vagara musangano vari kuti marodzi ari kuvakwa, madhamu ari kuvakwa, dzimba dziri kuvakwa itsva, magetsi ari kuwedzerwa, irrigation iri kukura, upenyu hwevanhu huri kusanduka. Takatarisana nedikindiro re 2030. Madelegates akagara pasi akati aiwa tange tichikumbira kwamuri President Mnangagwa kuti utungamiriro hwenyu huenderere kumberi kubva muna 2028 kusvika 2030. Ndicho chibvumirano chakaitwa kumusangano wekwaMutare.
Meanwhile, the local leadership assured villagers that every household will receive farming inputs under government support programs. Kenya's Chifusion, ZBC News, Makoni.
Meanwhile, the ZANU-PF Manicaland chapter has held its first provincial coordinating committee meeting after successfully hosting the National People's Conference, during which the need to implement resolution number 1, the extension of President Mnangagwa's term of office, was described as non-negotiable.
The ZANU-PF Manicaland Provincial Coordinating Committee PCC meeting held this Sunday in Mutare saw the ruling party emphasize the urgent implementation of the resolution on the extension of President Mnangagwa's term of office. ZANU-PF Secretary for Finance, Comrade Patrick Chinamasa, said there is no turning back on the issue and expressed gratitude to the province for successfully hosting the National People's Conference and the Sanganai Hlanganani Kumbanai World Tourism Expo.
Ndinokutendai zvakare nekugonesesa kwamakaita paNational People's Conference. Maka, as the chairman has said and everybody has said, well, it was the best ever National People's Conference, well organized. Pane maresolution yatakaita ku National 22nd National People's Conference. Resolution yakakosha nge-implementation ye-resolution yatakaita gore rapera yekuti ye-extension ye-term of office ya-president. Muzvizive ndinokutendai kuti panyaya iyoyo takabata taramba anodududza ngatirambe takabatana paresolution iyoyo kuti iye zvino tichenda mberi haichiri mumaoko yenu, yamumaoko ehurumende neparamende. Resolution yakabuda pachena kuti yakuda kuitwa implement, handinywaniba yakaitwa gore rapera kuti iitwe implement, and achaimplementa igovernment, Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, achizobatana neparliament.
The meeting also commended the unity displayed during and after the conference, with the Women's League and War Veterans expressing gratitude for the empowerment programs spearheaded by President Mnangagwa.
Madzimai vari kushanda vakabatana, madzimai paground tiri kushanda takabatana, kuexecutive yedu tiri kushanda takabatana. Toda kutenda President nenyaya ye-empowerment fund yavakatanga kutipa. Takapiwa mari 150,000 yatakapirwa kwamakoni.
The issue of the Pfumvudza Intwaza inputs distribution also came under discussion amid calls for transparency and fairness as the new agricultural season begins.
Nyaya huru iri pasi pekeni izvozvi ndeyepfumvudza. Mbeu zvese zvikwanisiro zviri kuuya zviripo chatinongokomekedza ndechekuti semusangano musarege zvakashata zvichitora nzvimbo musina kuudzawo ofisi yangu pamuri ikoko. Make sure kuti zvese zviri kufamba zvakanaka, vanhu vari kupuwa zvakanaka.
As Manicaland province gears up for the implementation of resolutions, the message is clear: unity, development and loyalty to the party's vision remain the driving force. Kenya's Chivushe, ZBC News, Mutare.
ZANU-PF Harare province says it is impressed by the policies being implemented by government which are propelling development in the country, highlighting that the party will continue to support the initiatives being led by President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
This Sunday, ZANU-PF Harare Province held its Provincial Coordinating Committee (PCC) meeting, where support for government's developmental agenda took center stage.
seharare senyika yose kudarikidza nemabasa akanaka apurezidendi wedu nekuti munhu wose by 2030 tichifamba kuinda ku2030 tinenge tava nemari muhomwe. So vemafunctions avo ngavazive kuti kana vachidhila nevana vezimbabwe vari kudhila nevana vezimbabwe vanotungamirirwa ne-focused president.
The provincial leadership also officially welcomed the newly co-opted Central Committee members who attended their first PCC meeting held after the party's National People's Conference.
Isu vakatigonera zvinonwisa mvura vakatipa memba yeCentral Committee inotsigira musangano, inotsigira iwo president, inotsigira development agenda yeZANU-PF, inotsigira moto yeZANU-PF yekuti peace, unity and development.
In response, newly co-opted ZANU-PF Central Committee member Comrade Kudakwashe Tagwirei pledged to work towards improving livelihoods and advancing the party's vision. The meeting focused on mapping strategies to implement various provincial projects aimed at promoting economic growth and sustainability. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
A former South African Minister of Home Affairs and AU Commission Chairperson, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, has called for an end to ill treatment of Africans by fellow African nationals on the continent. She was speaking at the Pan-African Parliament in Midrand, South Africa this Saturday in the wake of a recent surge in the harassment of foreign nationals in some parts of the continent.
It's such a pity that countries, including this one, we call Africans foreign nationals. I think we really need to understand that we are Africans. And there is no country on this continent that can be an island of prosperity in a sea of poverty. Our fortunes are intertwined. No part of Africa will develop if it thinks it can develop alone without the continent. I think we should agitate and not think there is a country that's better than others, so we don't want other Africans to come here. There is nothing like that.
Now back home, the presidential title deeds program, part of the Second Republic's broader efforts to regularize informal settlements and modernize urban housing, is bringing hope to White Cliff residents in Rimba East. Regularization of the settlement is imminent, providing residents with security and positioning the area for future development.
ndakauya muno 2004 ndichisvika munzvimbo inoyi ndakangoti ndichingosvika munyama wandakaita ndokuti imba yangu yandakatanga kuvaka ndisati ndaigara kwakabva kwaita murambatsvina ichibva yapwanywa.
Takapazirwa nemurambatsvina. Tapazirwa nemurambatsvina takaramba tingori muno hatina kumbobuda takaramba tingori muno tichirwira nzvimbo yedu.
These are some of the stories of Whitecliff residents who endured years of uncertainty. Their situation is set to change following plans to regularize the settlement under the Presidential Title Deeds program. Local leadership in Whitecliff says the move will create opportunities for growth and development in the community.
Tangomirira badzi kuti ministry chiuya pa ground yoita ma consultations ayo pochizikanwa kuti munhu anenge achibhadhara mari per square meter and the period yekuti munhu achanga achibhadhara sei ndo zvimwe zvatakamirira.
Better roads, ma government schools nechi zvato on cards. Like recently the council awarded with next year to our primary school and secondary school, which is the development which we are now seeing. Saka to me, tatova kuside regularization takututa is a development.
Cabinet has confirmed that formal processes have begun to facilitate negotiations between beneficiaries and landowners, paving the way for residents to obtain legal ownership of their properties under the Presidential Title Deeds program. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Whitecliff.
A local properties firm, River Valley Group, has clinched a Super Platinum Award at the Zimbabwe CEOs Network Awards, which recognizes exceptional leaders in corporate governance.
The River Valley Group clinched the prestigious Super Platinum Award at the Zimbabwe CEOs Network Awards held in Harare Wednesday evening, signaling the group's commitment to transparency, accountability, and ethical practices across its operations. The group's chairperson, Engineer Cedisi Dube, secured the highly coveted overall Best Director Award, walking away with a trophy in the Super Platinum Award.
This is not our first time to win these awards, but it shows that we are coming from very, very, very far, 20 years plus. In this field. It simply shows that we have been working very hard, and you see, these awards, they motivate us, they make us to work harder, because right now if you get number one, you also expect to keep on doing good things even in future.
Meanwhile, several other individuals and corporates were also recognized for their outstanding performances in corporate governance.
Very, very privileged, and as from like my speech, I was so taken back with such a great reward. And to the Zimbabwe CEO networks, I must thank them very much for bestowing this on me.
Being here is a great pleasure. It's one environment saying, yeah, we're Zimbabweans, it's our future, it's our country, only we are responsible.
It helps in networking, because you will sit next to probably your next client and you will not know unless you've had a conversation with them.
It gives us hope and inspiration to continue to uphold the very values that made us win this award.
The Zimbabwe CEOs Network Awards celebrate corporate entities and leaders who demonstrate outstanding leadership qualities and promote high corporate governance standards. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
That report from John Nandara taking us to our Montrose studios in Bulawayo, where Arthur Evans is on standby. Arthur, good evening.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. It's interesting to see what people get up to in their spare time. Winning awards is fantastic. Well, we're off to Beitbridge next, and the Dulivadzimu Clinic in Beitbridge Town has received a major facelift after a partnership between government and the church.
Established in 1985 and serving a large population across 6 wards and beyond,
Dulibadzimu Clinic in Beitbridge Town has received a much-needed facelift through support from government and its development partners. The clinic has been repainted while the ablution facilities have also been refurbished, giving a new look to the facility. Resources for the refurbishment were availed by government and the church.
vasongogumela hene vakavori nefedzi kavachimbile shango lote vachivonisa vuhulwa mudzimu
nne ndikotofa ndotakalanga manda uri uyatoma upora usati ulapiwa
sakubona kufanele ukuthi siqalise ukuphuma sihamba sitshengisa abantu ukuthi thina njengechurch siyathatha amazwi kumbe ngithi aka president wethu welizwe ukuthi ilizwe lakhiwa ngabanikazi balo.
The partnership between government and the church in infrastructure development continues to transform communities across the country.
We have felt it important that this clinic needs to be renovated as the clinic that is servicing our people. The people of the government and the people of the church are the same people.
To thank the United African Apostolic Church for doing the renovations at our Dulibadzimu Clinic. This is the oldest clinic in the town, and it's servicing the oldest part of the town. And the population here is quite huge. And on average, we are servicing about over 600 people per month.
The government of Zimbabwe will continue to ensure that development takes place in every province and at every district. This ensures that no community or individual is left behind, particularly in the health delivery sector.
Matabeleland South Province continues to benefit from various infrastructure projects being rolled out by the Second Republic. Aifeli Mudao, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
From a positive story about a facelift to one that in an area that needs a facelift now. Piles of uncollected litter continue to mount in Bulawayo's fruit and vegetable market area, sparking health concerns among customers and business owners who say the situation is deteriorating.
Bulawayo's usually clean streets have become an eyesore as heaps of garbage remain uncollected around the city's fruit and vegetable market. Residents say the situation is spiraling out of control and accuse city authorities of neglecting their duties.
Akusibulawayo esiyaziyo thina because Bulawayo is a city of kings. So I feel like as Bulawayo you have to take respective measures ukuthi sizama ukubisela iBulawayo back to its original state. Here we have people who are paying rentals to do their business, but when things are like this, who wants to come and do business here?
Okwenzakalayo koBulawayo kasikuthandi kodwa kungaphezulu kwamandla yethu. Asithandi ukuthi sibe phakathi kwengcekeze nje lezi mota ze city council asikwazi ukuthi uhlupho phakathi kwe-city council labahlali bakoBulawayo ukuthi zibe nje.
Residents and shop owners say the uncollected waste is driving away customers and creating an unhygienic working environment which could lead to disease outbreaks if left unchecked.
Nxa sokufika lesi sibanga njalo ke sikubona izibi zikhanya sezibuthelelwe sezigcwelezi kanje. Sithanda ukuthi sithi thina sicela iCouncil ayikithathe inyathelo elibanzi ibona ukuthi izibilezi ziyasuswa zisiwe endaweni lapho kufanele ziyelahlelwa khona.
As frustration mounts among Bulawayo residents, attention now turns to the city council, which faces a growing pressure to restore the City of Kings to its once a proud reputation for cleanliness.
Sad indeed, especially considering that Bulawayo was once voted the cleanest city in Africa once upon a time. Now, in other news, government has intensified the distribution of agricultural inputs to communal farmers, with hundreds benefiting in the Zaka district.
Mr. Stanford Mushini of Ruona Village under Chief Nema is among the farmers receiving government support under the Pfumvudza Intwasa program. He says since adopting the program 4 years ago, his family's livelihood has significantly improved, with early land preparation now part of their farming culture. The inputs distributed by government this Saturday, he adds, came at the right time.
Ndakafamba ndichiona goho rangu kuti riri kusumukira kudarika zvandaita ndichirima nemombe. Pagore rino ndaona kuti zvakakodzera kuti dai ndagona kuti wedzere apa ndichitendazve nemafertilizer
Other farmers, including cotton growers, expressed gratitude to government for ensuring timely distribution, saying it boosts their confidence of achieving a successful harvest this year.
Zvinotapo madhi kudai zvotova kutoti gore rino nemvura mamiri kutaurwa zvinoita gore rino tinenge tinotova negohwa rakawanda kutodarika rinosvika makore ose.
Hatina kutanga kupuwa mbeu nhasi, tagara tichipuwa makore oga oga, asi ninofara nokuti ndiri kusumuka pakurima kwatinenge tichitoita.
Programu iri kuredusa gap pakati pevana nevasina.
The Deputy Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Davis Marapira, urged farmers to take advantage of the program to improve their lives and warned against abusing the facility.
Muono wehurumende inoda kuti mumwe nomumwe azviriritire, kuti munhu wega wega akwanise kuzviriritira kutanga kuwana chikafu mumba mako. Wawana chikafu mumba mako, nemaplots atiri kupa munhu wega wega vachawana chikafu chokuti vandodya. Garden president vachandorimazve mumagarden mune diridziro zvokuti hakuna uchafa nezhara.
The Input Support Program forms part of broader government efforts to promote rural transformation and achieve national food security. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Zaka.
As we always do on Sunday edition, we have our This and That feature. And in this week's edition, a story of hope is coming through. Amputation has not deterred a Bulawayo street dancer from entertaining Zimbabweans, with his talent and energy having made him a symbol of strength as well as perseverance. We get more in the following story.
Every day, this man transforms Bulawayo's pavements into a stage, proving that disability does not mean inability. Using the rhythm of the streets, he earns not just a living, but admiration from those who stop to watch his inspiring moves.
UNdebele ngiye ngimbone egida ngidlula nje ngihamba khona lapha etown. Uyagida sibili okuzwayo.
Insizwa le edlala ngonyawo lodwa nje iyazamela njengensizwa ihlale izandla. Kodwa iyazamela nhlala sibona nje njalo nje idlala khona.
Hlonipho Ndebele does not only seem showing his talent in the streets, but is also a popular figure at musical shows in the city.
Ubaba lapha noma kulama shows noma kulani uyakhwela phezulu kwestand noma enjalo disability engani ukhubazekile. Ule talent oluthi lawe ungayala ukuthi umuntu olonyawo lulodwa and uyayimela umsebenzi wakhe. Lapha kuma isigide lawe uyasala umangela ubona ukuthi hayi isiphiwo sikhona.
The ZBC News has since established that Ndebele has always been a dancer, and amputation failed to sap the talent and determination to entertain out of him.
Vele ngangida emaphathini sivuke ebusuku sibaleka sisemaphathini sisiyagida sigidela ukukholisa so ngithe sengilimele lami ngabona ukuthi wodi ngizincedise ngendlela enje.
Despite his disability, one thing is certain: Ndebele is a center of attraction in the streets of Bulawayo.
Truly a story of determination, perseverance, and ultimately ending with joy. Speaking of ending, we're not done yet, but we are taking a break. Do stay with us. My name is Arthur Evans with the Montrose News Desk.
Zimbabwe inhaka yedu. Zimbabwe is our heritage. this festive season is the right time to travel.
Local is local.
Zimbabwe 2025, #1 destination in the world, according to Forbes magazine. This festive season, travel local and experience our heritage. Zimbabwe, inaka yedu, ilifa letu. Experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
The government of Zimbabwe is proud to host the 5th African Public Procurement Network General Assembly from the 11th to the 14th of November 2025 at the Elephant Hills Resort in Victoria Falls. Under the inspiring theme, Transforming Public Procurement in Africa through Innovation, Inclusion, Sustainability and Regional Collaboration, this event brings together 53 African countries organized into 5 regional networks: North, East, West, Central and Southern Africa. This assembly is more than just a gathering. It's a vital platform where leaders, procurement experts and stakeholders come together to exchange lessons learned and best practices. It's a space to strengthen institutions and systems, to promote innovative solutions to procurement challenges, and to address governance and strategic planning issues across the continent. Join us in shaping the future of public procurement in Africa, where collaboration meets innovation and progress knows no bounds. Together, we are building a stronger, more sustainable Africa.
Welcome to Anafi High School, a center of excellence, discipline, and character where every learner is guided with wisdom and shaped for success. Located in Concession Mazoe, our doors are opening January 2026, and we're now enrolling Forms 1, 2, 3, and Lower 6. Our Cambridge curriculum is delivered through modern classrooms and advanced science and computer labs, with boarding facilities that redefine student living. Give your child the foundation to excel. Contact us on the details below or visit anafihigh.com to begin your enrollment today.
Welcome back. A 19-year-old man from Masvingo has designed a unique multifunctional machine for absorbing and purifying hazardous gases in a mine. We explore this invention in our science and technology feature.
With the mining sector contributing significantly to the country's gross domestic product, the young and exuberant are right at the center of it all. One such innovator is a 19-year-old young man from Masvingo who has designed a remote-controlled robot for detecting hazardous gases that pose risks to miners.
I have come here with this project. It is called Jinda, from the Shona word Jinda Ramambo. So this robot is a guardian of the environment. So we have come up with this robot after realizing that 5.6% of Zimbabwe's GDP is attributed to mining. And 70% of that 5.6%, it is attributed to artisanal miners. And these are the people who have no one to be regulating their health as they work.
Known as Jinda, the robot detects harmful gases and sucks them up, ready for purification.
So we have realized that there are 3 major gases which are affecting their health: carbon monoxide, methane, and excess carbon dioxide. So what it does is we deploy it into mines and it detects for the harmful gases. If it picks up any harmful gas, it then sucks it into the robot and purifies it. After purification, it then let out the clean air back into the environment.
The robot also comes with a bonus. It is an instant solution to health challenges in mining towns, where miners and the public are exposed to harmful gases, which result in stillbirth, miscarriages, and high rates of lung cancer.
If this innovation is taken up, we will know that we will reduce some of those mine accidents due to harmful gases like methane, which is very flammable and explosive.
To upgrade his invention, the young innovator is working on incorporating the power of mineral detection into his device.
We are looking forward into making it a better version by putting mineral detection and by also putting cameras, microphones and speakers, so that in case miners are trapped underground, we can communicate to them. At the same time, the robot has to be regulating the air which they will be taking in.
The invention is also expected to play a key role in safeguarding artisanal miners who are exposed to health risks in the sector. Lisa Correa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Well, the young generation taking mining security to another level, and that's our science and technology feature in our SunBiz. The 10th edition of the Zimbabwe Infrastructure and Construction Summit, recently held in Nyanga, challenged stakeholders in the construction industry to take full advantage of government's political will and new investments in the sector to drive the smart cities concept.
The 2025 edition of the Infrastructure and Construction Summit comes at a time Zimbabwe is ramping up investments in major infrastructure projects, among them the Trabablas Interchange, a clear demonstration of the political will driving national development. President of the Zimbabwe Building and Constructors Association and the ZimBuild CEO Dr. Tinashe Manzungu urged the construction sector to seize the opportunity created by the government's commitment to infrastructure development and align with the national development agenda. He also spoke on the importance of investing in digital infrastructure to support smart city development.
Yes, in terms of political will and regulatory reform, these are important things, but I think as of now, we can actually say there is political will. How many of you have heard about the recent development from Dangote? He is investing at least $1 billion in Zimbabwe for cement plants and other built industry investments. Something positive, is it? And we need to be very much ready to receive such investment in the country. And it speaks to political will. We need to appreciate this.
Global Renaissance Investments CEO Mr. Ngonidzache Dzirutwe said President Mnangagwa's vision of transforming Zimbabwe into an upper-middle-income economy by 2030 is a clear call to action for the sector to unlock capital and strengthen partnerships that will drive growth.
This year's theme, Building the Future Today, Modern Infrastructure for Vision 2030, resonates deeply with our national aspirations and His Excellency President Edie Mnangagwa's Vision 2030 and Zinyika Inowakwa Nerenywa. It reminds us that the foundation of tomorrow's prosperity is laid by the actions and investments we make today. Infrastructure in energy, transport, housing, digital systems are the very backbone of our Vision 2030 agenda.
Other speakers emphasized the need to embrace artificial intelligence and emerging technologies in infrastructure design and implementation, applauding government efforts to modernize the country's infrastructure.
Our President, His Excellency, Comrade Dr. Edie Mnangagwa, he has been the champion of Zimbabwe's renewed infrastructural development drive. And for that, we are very grateful.
AI will soon become the backbone of city function. What we are trying to create is a city that has urban services that are very efficient. You can imagine 24/7 water supply, no running around or sewer, pipe bursts or a menace of traffic all over, congestion.
The 10th Zimbabwe Infrastructure and Construction Summit brought together policymakers, industry experts and potential investors to align infrastructure development with the country's economic transformation agenda. The summit concluded with calls for stronger public-private partnerships, improved funding mechanisms, and a greater alignment of projects with national development priorities, particularly in rural transformation and urban modernization. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Nyanga.
Sunday Edition takes a short break and we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
The Deposit Protection Corporation (DPC) invites members of the public and institutions who may have lodged their security documents with any of the following closed banking institutions: Afrasia Bank Limited, Royal Bank Zimbabwe Limited, Trust Banking Corporation, Interfin Bank Limited, and Allied Bank Limited. Kindly visit DPC offices at number 29 Railroad in Borodale, Harare, or number 34 Lole Road, corner Leopold Takaria Avenue, suburbs in Bulawayo. Documents to be collected include but are not limited to mortgage bonds, title deeds, notarial bonds, and notarial general covering bonds (NGCBs). Kindly bring valid identification in the form of a national ID document or valid passport, a board resolution authorizing you to receive the documents in the case of companies, a letter of administration in the case of executors of deceased estates, a court order or certificate of appointment in the case of liquidators or curators of companies, and any supporting documentation that may assist in the verification and retrieval process. For more information, kindly contact us on Harare office number 0242 252 336 or 0242 250 900 up to 1. Bulawayo office 0292 231 817 or 8. WhatsApp 0716 801 310. Email claims@dpcorp.co.zw. Deposit Protection Corporation. Protecting your deposits.
You're watching Sunday Edition. Thank you for staying with us. In Sports Buzz, key players Knowledge Musona and Timon Machope will miss Zimbabwe's upcoming international friendlies against Algeria and Qatar after picking injuries.
Former Warriors captain Knowledge Musona, who has been struggling with a hamstring injury, will be sidelined for both the fixtures, while Timon Machope has been ruled out after sustaining a calf injury while playing for Scotland. To fill the gaps, Warriors head coach Mario Marinica has called up defender Shanus Mawuchi and midfielder Tivongi Rushesha. The changes will provide coach Marinica with an opportunity to assess new talent and fine-tune his squad ahead of the upcoming matches. Kamap Elliott has been left out of the squad for personal reasons, according to SIFA. Zimbabwe will face Algeria on Thursday in Saudi Arabia before taking on Qatar a few days later. The two friendlies expected to offer a stern test for the Warriors as they continue their preparations for the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Morocco next month. Anna Shemburombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, Herentals Queens have clinched their fourth consecutive championship in the Women's Premier Soccer League after a convincing 2-0 victory over Cranbourne Royals at 2 Brigade this Saturday.
Herentals Queens, popularly known as the Lady Students, have once again written their name in local football history, winning their fourth straight league championship under the guidance of coach Simbarashe Diedza. Star striker Natasha Benza, who has been in top form throughout the season, opened the scoring with her 14th goal of the campaign just before half-time. Pregnant Jawanda sealed the victory with a well-taken goal in the 48th minute, securing yet another memorable triumph for the champions.
We are very happy to be the 2025 season champions. It was not an easy season, but we are happy today because we managed to win it. We managed to defend it for the fourth time in a row, which shows that there is progression.
Herentals' consistency has been unmatched this season, boasting 23 wins, 2 draws and only 2 defeats to collect a remarkable 71 points with the 2 games still to play against the Platinum Royals and the Black Rhinos Queens. Heranto's victory had not only solidified their dominance in women's football, but also sees them equal Black Rhinos Queens' record of 4 league titles. However, they have now made history as the first team ever to win the championship 4 seasons in a row, a record that firmly cements their status as one of the greatest sides in the league's history. Elsewhere, Faith the Driver edged the Conchute Academy 3-2. Chapungu Queens lost 1-0 to Shisham Queens, while Platinum Royals drew 1-0 with Highlanders Royals. Popma Sports Academy narrowly fell 1-0 to Black Mambas. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Shihan Wilfred Mashaya stands today as Zimbabwe's living martial arts legend, a multi-award-winning champion, Hall of Famer, and the country's first certified ninja.
His journey began the day a flickering TV screen showed Bruce Lee's lightning-fast nunchucks. At just 8 years old, he was mesmerized, and with no formal dojo in sight, he taught himself kobudo weapons on the dusty streets of Mfakose.
Dara, we used to see Einzma by Skopo. So I used to say, when I grow up, I want to be like Bruce Lee. See, so that inspiration took me to where I am today. So growing up, ndakaenda kumusha fudza mombe, then ndakagadzira tumachako sticks twangu ndikabatanza necheni yemubhedha, being inspired by Bruce Lee. Though growing up, I was trained Kyokushin karate in the gate of Mfakose, but weapons, I was inspired by Bruce Lee, so I self-trained myself. So weapons, I can say I self-taught myself, and also the art of ninjutsu, of ninjas. Seeing the ninja films, I was also inspired, so I grew up experimenting, imitating the ninjas, imitating Bruce Lee.
That self-taught determination earned him the nickname Zim Ninja, and he began sharing his skills on social media long before Zimbabwe embraced the discipline. His breakthrough came at 34 when Japanese grandmasters discovered his videos and invited him to compete in Russia in 2016. He returned home with the silver and bronze medals, marking the start of an unstoppable medal spree.
The power of social media, a lot of international masters, they started seeing my work, and some of them, they were surprised. Where is this guy from? Then I'll be saying from Zimbabwe. I said, from Zimbabwe, from Africa. So they started emulating my work, and others started even asking, why are you not competing? Your skills are of international level, you see. So to me, having those international masters speaking to you like that, it actually motivated me.
Since that debut, Mashaya has represented Zimbabwe in Russia, Spain, Italy, Montenegro, Bangladesh, England and Wales, amassing medal after medal. At the 2024 Welsh Open, he won 2 gold medals in traditional and freestyle weapons, plus 2 silver in creative and extreme categories. The following year at the IMAC English Open, he dominated all divisions, walking away with the 5 gold medals in traditional, freestyle, creative, musical and advanced weapons, and was named athlete of the tournament. Shihan Wilfred Mashaya's story proves that a boy from Mfakose can rise to become a golden icon, inspiring a new generation to embrace martial arts not just as a sport, but as a path to discipline, health, and national pride. His humility, humor, and relentless drive makes him a true inspiration, a Zimbabwean hero who turned passion into purpose. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, it is a medal after medal for Shihan Mashaya. He is our pride. And it's now time for showbiz. The Harare International Conference Center came alive this Saturday as the Nubian Notes concert delivered a spectacular celebration of female musical excellence. Let's take a look.
Gemma Griffiths set the stage ablaze, opening the main acts with a powerful performance that highlighted her impressive vocal range and magnetic stage presence. The evening took an exciting turn when she brought out surprise guest Natty O, sending waves of energy through the auditorium as the duo's chemistry ignited the crowd. Shashel kept the momentum going with her high-energy performance that reaffirmed her reputation as one of Zimbabwe's most dynamic entertainers. Her flawless choreography, commanding vocals, and engaging stagecraft created moments of pure exhilaration for the audience. The incomparable Feli Nandi then closed the night with a soul-stirring set that filled the HICC with her rich, powerful vocals. A heartfelt delivery and deep connection with the audience reaffirmed her standing as one of Zimbabwe's most gifted female artists. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, Chitekete was the place to be this weekend as the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation radio services concluded its mega tour in spectacular fashion.
Gokwe Chitekete came alive this Saturday as ZBC Radio Services brought the curtain down on its highly successful mega tour. The fully subscribed event drew huge crowds as locals enjoyed thrilling performances for listeners to connect directly with the voices they hear daily on the airwaves. The ZBC Radio Mega Tour has been hailed as a huge success, growing in popularity and scale with every edition.
Our drawing boards to our studios start to plan again for the 2026 edition.
The 2025 ZBC Radio Mega Tour began on the 1st of November in Southly Park, Harare, before making stops in Mutoko, Kotwa, Mondoro and Chegutu, culminating in Chitekete. Plans are underway for next year's edition, which will once again feature Radio Zimbabwe, National FM, Power FM, Classic 263, Kulumani FM and Central Radio, continuing ZBC's mission.
Well, be on the lookout 2026. You never know, the mega tour might come to your community. And that reporter taking us to the weather report and focused up next.
A pleasant evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Looking at some of the rainfall that fell over parts of the country, we had mostly over the western parts of Unkai, Cholocho, Gokwe, with 19, 11, and 8 millimeters respectively, whilst to the eastern parts, Mutasa had 8 millimeters. This was because of moisture that was drifting in over much of the country. This led to Mutasa districts over the eastern highlands, whilst another one is entering in from the west, giving us those scattered storms that were over Cholocho and Gai areas. The cooling winds over the southern parts are driving most of the moisture northwards, leading to more of the clearance happening over the southern parts of the country, as seen here in our satellite image, more to Botswana as well. We're expecting thundery weather to drift in from the west, giving us more of the rainfall along that main watershed, where we're expecting most of that rainfall over much of the next few days. But to the south, we're expecting less as that moisture is being driven out, and we're expecting it to clear out as we get in morning. We were expecting most of our temperatures to be between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius. To the afternoons, we're expecting mostly warm category temperatures. We were expecting Bulawayo to be at 26 by afternoon, 26 for much of this week, for Matopo, we're expecting it to rise to 29 on Wednesday and Thursday as the clouds start clearing off over those southern parts. Same for Kwanda, we're expecting a bit of warmth around Wednesday. And for Gweru, we're expecting it to slightly warm up to 28 on Wednesday and Thursday, but still a few rain showers projected there. Masvingo also expecting the same, with the temperatures warming up slightly, whilst Nyanga warms up to 25 on Thursday. cooling conditions over Marandra for much of this week with a maximum of 27 on Thursday. And for Harare, we're expecting it to rise to 28 from Wednesday onwards. And for Kwekwe, we're expecting 30s from Tuesday onwards, making it rather warm over Kwekwe with a slight chance of shower for tomorrow, whilst Kadoma is at 28 tomorrow, going up to 31 around Tuesday, whilst Chino is at 30 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 31, whilst Victoria Falls begins off at 31, it goes up to about 33 around Thursday. So it's warming up over Victoria Falls. Lupane also warming up slightly as our southeasterlies are dying down. Bindura also under the same influence with a maximum of 29 around Wednesday. Kariba mostly warm for much of this week with temperatures above 30 projected there for much of the period. And with that, we wish you a pleasant evening.
Well, that's Sunday edition for tonight. Thank you for giving us your time. Good night.
Good night.